We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Legendary actor Terrence Stamp filmed scenes for a Priscilla sequel in the months before he passed away.
Queer icon Elvira gives us all something new to drool over.
Disgraced former adult performer Austin Wolf has been sentenced in New York.
A man was arrested for threatening a Texas Pride event, citing revenge for Charlie Kirk.
South Florida's own Arianna Lint presents Miss Trans Star International in Puerto Rico.
Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. In 2025, our queer stories have reached 11 million streaming views, and Queer News Tonight has been the most watched LGBTQ news and lifestyle show in the world this year.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida. We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the LGBTQ community. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Tuesday, September 30th, and we are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots Happening Out is one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, in the same model as PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ community. We support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community and want to inform and educate on the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture.
Our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience. Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ streaming stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our nonprofit 501c3 magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet today's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Joy Winheim. Joy graduated from St. Thomas Aquinas College in Spark Hill, New York, and has worked with people living with HIV in the Tampa Bay community for almost 30 years. She's a professional do-gooder and still finding new ways to mix compassion with a little bit of sass. Joy, Kick Up Your Heels is returning with the season 12 on October the 11th to benefit the Joyride. Tell me, what's happening out?
Well, on Sunday, October 11th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., Team Tampa Bay Area Cyclists will host Kick Up Your Heels Season 12 at the Wet Spot Pool Bar and Day Club in St. Pete. This dazzling evening will feature legendary drag performances, raffle prizes, and non-stop entertainment, with host Arianna Sparkle leading the way. The event will raise funds for the Joyride, an annual bike ride from Orlando to St. Pete, dedicated to supporting HIV service organizations throughout Florida. All proceeds will directly benefit Broward House, Compass, EPIC, or Empath Partners in Care, Miracle of Love, and Pride Lines. With a suggested $25 donation to attend, guests will enjoy an unforgettable night of heels, wigs, and lip-sync magic while helping sustain critical community services. Jason Fields and Bruce Beckner will co-present this celebration. Donations may also be made online at thejoyridefl.org. This is an amazing fun event that you do not want to miss. And these are amateurs. They are not, they put a lot of time into their performances, their choreography, their costumes. And I'll tell you, by the end of the night, you are not so sure that they are not.
So there's no drag race professionals up there?
There is not a professional in the bunch.
Well, it's really I'm glad that we have the combined fundraising powers of Kick Up Your Heels and the Joyride to provide these necessary financial support at this crucial time. And can you tell us more about the Joyride?
So the Joyride is a 165-mile bike ride, and previously it was called the Smart Ride. So we rebranded. Will be our second ride, and we have just moved it from Orlando to St. Pete. Which is great because I don't have to drive back from Key West. So it's going to end right in the backyard of one of the benefiting organizations, Epic. So it's a brand new route, and we're hoping to get a whole new bunch of people riding. So it's right in the backyard of Team T-Back, or the Tampa Bay Area Cyclists. And guess how much money they raised last year?
How much?
Over $20,000.
Wow.
Just on this
And
event.
that was for the first time of the Joyride.
That was for the first year of the Joyride.
Wow.
They still raised over $20,000.
That's amazing. Yeah.
That's how much the community rallies around this event.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Smart Ride had a amazing legacy, and the people that have been committed to that and the fundraising efforts. And I just, again, can't stress enough, obviously, in the environment that we were in, and the cuts to healthcare and everything else that's happening. What a great event this is, and how important it is for the community, and especially those who are living with HIV.
Yeah, and anybody that has heard me talk about this event before has heard me say that this is the money that gets us to yes. This is the money that covers those services that our grants don't allow us to cover, because grants will fund just those specific things. And this is the money that lets us just kind of color outside of the lines. And cover things that
make people's lives a little better.
That make their lives a lot better.
A lot better.
A lot better.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And I hope everyone will go to the website and make some donations to support. And I assume you are on a team.
So I'm on the crew because we work a little bit harder than the riders, and somebody has to work hard. So, and that's me.
Okay, got it. Okay. Well, either way, please make a donation. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Kick Up Your Heels, Season 12 on October 11th. Now let's welcome Gregg Shapiro, an inductee into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame. Gregg is an entertainment journalist whose celebrity interviews and reviews run in a variety of regional LGBTQ publications and websites. Gregg, the Our Fund Foundation Sunshine Pride House fundraiser is set for October 6th. Tell me, what's happening out?
On Monday, October 6th, the Sunshine Cathedral and the Our Fund Foundation will host the Sunshine Pride House Anniversary Community Fundraiser Reception at the Cathedral from 5:30 to 7 p.m. The event will bring community members together to celebrate the lasting impact of Sunshine Pride House, a safe and inclusive haven for homeless LGBTQ+ youth. Guests will reflect on how this initiative, made possible through the generosity of Michael Kalb and Dion Westerman and Terry Merlin, has provided emergency housing, mental health services, and educational programming since its opening. Supporters will hear stories of resilience and learn how their continued generosity will ensure that young people receive the stability and resources they need to thrive. The evening will be guided by Bishop Robert Griffin, Executive Minister at Sunshine Cathedral, and David Jobin, CEO President of the Our Fund Foundation, as they honor a milestone of hope and community care. Sunshine Cathedral is a progressive, positive, practical spiritual community that affirms the sacred value of all people. More details about the event are available at sunshinecathedral.org. Well, as always, because here we are on the grounds of the fabulous Sunshine Cathedral, and we are so grateful to Sunshine Cathedral and the Our Fund Foundation for combining their fundraising powers for a worthy recipient such as Sunshine Pride House.
Yeah, I mean, again, LGBTQ youth that are homeless, I can't think of a segment of our population that is more at risk in the current environment, and probably feel like they have limited resources or help that's available out there. So this is such an important organization or facility to help those at risk and the most vulnerable of our community.
And what a way to make them feel seen and heard, and just give them an opportunity to give them a little bit of hope that there are people out there, so that they know that there are people out there that care about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know, just from doing past work and volunteering with events with, even with Pride Lines, that provides, food and showers and things for homeless LGBTQ youth, that the need for it, especially in South Florida, especially when we're in a place that has the worst housing crisis already for people that actually live here. So being an LGBTQ homeless youth is the most at risk of our community. So I hope that people will go to the Sunshine Cathedral website and continue to support this organization. Well, that is Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Our Fund Foundation Sunshine Pride House fundraiser on October 6th.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Jeff Oliverio. Jeff is the founder and president of Hollywood LGBTQ+ Council and serves as the co-chair of the upcoming 5th annual My Hollywood Pride, which returns in January 2026. He also serves on the Save Gala Committee. Jeff is the director and certified financial planner with Truist Wealth based in Fort Lauderdale. Jeff, POW Impact Awards will honor community heroes on October 7th. Tell me what's happening out.
So on October 7th, Plays of Wilton will present the annual POW Impact Awards, also known as the POWies, at the Elegant Tower Club in downtown Fort Lauderdale. The evening will begin at 6 p.m. and will celebrate community members who have left a lasting mark on the organization. The honorees will include D.C. Allen and Ken Flick, Diogo Bonfim, William Brierly, H. Carey Brown, and Tim Gilday, Norman Extract, and more. Guests will be welcomed with a complimentary drink, light hors d'oeuvres, and a gift bag at this free event. Plays of Wilton will also invite attendees to consider sponsorships with a $250 donation, including recognition and event materials. Registration will remain open at ronnielarson.com and at playsofwilton.com. POW is a nonprofit 501c3 company committed to the development and production of filmed and live LGBT entertainment. We've talked a little bit about some of the events that they have put on here in South Florida, and bringing, some of the live plays and things to Wilton Manors was something I think that was really missing from the community. So I like that they're expanding this, and again, the recognition is important. And it sounds like it'll be a great event. The Tower Club is an amazing venue, so definitely check it out. And before I pass it on to my other anchors, it is September 30th, and I want to wish one of our other anchors, Von Biggs, a very, very happy birthday today. So happy birthday, Vaughn, from everyone at Queer News Tonight.
I am not from this area, so I am not familiar with a lot of the plays and what happens here, but I think anytime that you can get a queer movie, a queer play on stage, is one less boring storyline from all of the other not queer movies and plays. And again, having your voice heard and seen, I remember the first time I saw someone like me on TV, and I thought, we're real.
Yeah.
Representation.
I'm normal. So, and I can't tell you what the movie was, but
well, I think the thing with the things that Ronnie Larson does put on, it usually turns out to be that the hardest thing is getting a ticket, because they all sell out pretty quickly, which shows that there is an appetite for it. So definitely check out this event, and check out Plays of Wilton's any events they have coming up.
Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at POW Impact Awards on October 7th.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Jeff Oliverio, and let's queer up entertainment. The late Terrence Stamp to return to Priscilla role. It was the classic film about 3 drag performers traveling across the country for a performance. They break down in a rural area and make some unlikely friends. A year before Tu Wong Fu, this story was told in 1994's The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. It featured Hugo Weaving, Guy Pearce, and Emperor Zod himself from the Superman movies, Terrence Stamp. Stamp played the role of the elder of the trio, transgender performer Bernadette. In an interview with Deadline, filmmaker Stephen Elliott revealed that Stamp filmed scenes for the upcoming sequel in the months before his death, telling Elliott that he didn't want his character to be replaced with a digital stand-in. Elliott said in the interview, quote, "He was 87, turning 88, and I put him through a multicam shoot spread over several grueling sessions. All I can say is the old trooper gave it everything he had. He hated putting the wig on again. But at the same time, my God, you could have bottled that smile. I mean, it was brilliant, fun, and he really did have the time of his life." But calling "that's a wrap" on Terrence Stamp are going to be words that will haunt me to the day I die, end quote. For years, Weaving and Pearce had talked about doing a sequel to the film, but Stamp had refused, saying he insisted that he would only participate if an amazing script was created. Elliott revealed some of the new movie has to offer, saying, quote, "Not what people expect. I've made a very, very unusual film, and it is about old age. It's very touching. I wrote a lot of what I went through with Terrence over the last couple of years. I wrote into the script of what it's like to get old and to be either gay, trans. I mean, it's a subject that has never been explored." I know everyone out there is a huge, the fans of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert exist, and they are many, and they are rabid for that movie. I'm really excited to see. I'm sure it's obviously the word sequel is probably not the best term for it. It's probably an evolve of the storyline, and I do agree. I mean, our culture is consumed with youth, so presenting just LGBTQ characters and an older part of at the older stage of their life is rarely seen on television. I mean, just yesterday we learned that they canceled Mid-Century Modern, which was not really about that old of people, and it was a great series, and also presented again a different view of LGBTQ life. And it was sad to see that they canceled that show. So I'm looking forward to seeing, and also that obviously it's the last film for Terrence Stamp.
Well, Terrence Stamp and Priscilla will always have a special place in my heart, because in 1994 it was the first movie I ever reviewed for an LGBTQ publication. And Stamp was an incredibly versatile and talented actor, and his passing was a terrible loss. However, it's really nice to know that we have the final performance to which we can all look forward.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I should say I've never seen it.
It's okay. It's okay.
I feel
you
like
have time.
Available on streaming platforms.
I feel like a baby gay right now.
We'll definitely check it out.
I'm going to have to. I did watch a clip of it this afternoon, and the clip that I did watch was pretty funny. So I'm going to have to watch it over the weekend.
Well, check out the movie, and we're looking forward to the film.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Joy Winheim, and let's queer up lesbians and queer women. Elvira cooks up horror with a cookbook from hell.
Hey everybody, it's Cassandra Peterson here with my new cookbook, Elvira's Cookbook from Hell. And you can get it for a limited time right now at Elvira's Boutique with yours truly's autograph for free! No charge. I'm not kidding. So pre-order today.
Cassandra Peterson and her drag personality Elvira has been haunting late-night television and movies since the early 80s. Now she's calling herself the Martha Stewart of macabre with the new recipe book, Elvira's Cookbook from Hell. She's gone from putting the boob in the boob tube to showing us all her spice rack. The cookbook contains recipes for sinister snacks, demonic desserts, killer cocktails, eerie appetizers, and a vampy variety of demented delicacies that are sure to be scary good. She has written several books in recent years, including 2021's autobiography, Yours Truly, Elvira, where she revealed that she was a lesbian in a long-term relationship, and a children's book titled Elvira's First Book of Monsters. In an interview with Out, Peterson said, quote, "I have been thinking of doing this book way longer than my autobiography, which was on and off for 10 years until I had a deadline, and then I really cranked. But I wanted to do this cookbook for maybe 30 or 35 years. I used to entertain and have a lot of dinner parties all the time. I enjoy cooking, and I had a lot of funny little bits on Movie Macabre where I would do fake little cooking segments. So I started calling myself the Martha Stewart of Macabre. Although Peterson is a vegetarian, the cookbook also includes meat and vegan recipes. Her favorites? Green slime tachos, which are tater tots with pico de gallo and a guacamole sauce, and Trick or Trash, a cereal snack mix covered in chocolate. Elvira's Cookbook from Hell is available now and perfect for a spooky holiday party. So I'm thinking that this has to be top of what I call it the Wheel of Ridiculousness, but the Wheel of Ridiculousness is full of the best things on the internet.
Yes.
And this has to be top of my list because who doesn't love great Halloween stuff? And now you can just do it all year long.
And this is just right before Halloween. It's perfect timing. You could have a Halloween party and make some green slime tots.
I mean, Elvira's never had a problem with marketing. Let's put it that way.
She
is a great marketer.
Yes.
I was thinking back, what was the show that she used to host like at late night when she was a late when I was
green old horror movie.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being like not old enough to probably be staying up to watch that, and like again, her breasts out on the TV, and thinking, "Am I supposed to be watching this?" And I'm glad to see that she's putting that to good use with a cookbook, and she's still out there and making some money for herself.
And it's an honor and privilege to count Cassandra Peterson as a member of our community.
Absolutely.
After the year she spent as an ally, I've just added Elvira's Cookbook from Hell to my husband Rick's Christmas gift list.
Oh, nice. Great. We'll get some of that, those tater tots next party. So.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Gregg Shapiro. Let's square up the USA View. Adult performer Austin Wolf sentenced in child porn case. Justin Heath Smith, also known as gay adult performer Austin Wolf, was sentenced to 19 years in prison for enticing a minor. The 44-year-old was arrested last summer and had pleaded guilty to the charges. Prosecutors submitted a 15-page memorandum on September 22nd requesting a maximum sentence for Smith, referencing other victims beyond the 15-year-old whom this case centered on. U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Jay Clayton, said in a statement, quote, "Justin Heath Smith's crimes against children are horrible. He targeted kids as young as 7, and every New Yorker wants him and those like him off our streets for as long as possible and never again near our children," end quote. Smith's defense attorneys, Michael Baldessari and Thomas Indrikovitz, argued for lenience due to his lack of a previous criminal record, his sobriety, and his being an advocate for others in the adult industry. They also claimed that the prosecution padded their submission with unproven allegations. The adult industry was rattled by Smith's arrest in June of 2024 when FBI agents found hundreds of child sexual abuse images on an SD card in his Manhattan apartment. Many other performers warned that conservatives would use the charges to continue attacks against the LGBTQ community at large. One content creator was quoted anonymously saying, quote, "This is catastrophic news. We have to do everything in our power to separate us from people like this," end quote. What Justin Heath Smith did was deplorable and abhorrent enough at any time, but it's particularly damaging at this moment in terms of what it represents, and it allows our enemies to cast us in an unfair light, further fueling their mission to vilify us in any way they find suitable.
Yeah, again, it's when we do these types of stories, we're telling them because again, we know what the greater world is associating those stories that this is something that's prevalent amongst our community when that is completely false. We also know that there's plenty of stories that can be filled up on this news channel, and we've talked about some of them, of conservatives being accused for the exact same thing, such as Republican lawmakers. One just was sentenced in South Carolina, Representative May, who just was charged with similar crimes with child pornography. So there are plenty on the other side. This is not something that has to do with your political party. It is not something that has to do with your sexuality. It has to do with a mental disorder. So again, our thoughts are with all the victims, of course, but this has nothing to do with the LGBTQ community.
Yeah, when these things hit the news, you hope that it hits the news where a person did this horrible thing and their sexuality doesn't come into play. And it's the same way that we want when two people get married. It's just a wedding. It's not a gay wedding.
Right.
So it should go for everything.
Right.
If a person is bad, a person is bad, regardless of what their sexuality is.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, we live in a time where every crime, whether it's a shooting or a sexual abuse case, your sexuality, your political party is attached to it, and then becomes something that permeates the other side to rally against. When really it's the crime that we should be coming out against. So. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Jeff Oliverio, and let's queer up gay culture. Texas pride threatened by Charlie Kirk supporter as revenge. Joshua Cole of Texas has been arrested for threatening violence against Abilene Pride on Facebook. He posted on the Pride's Facebook page on September 18th, writing, quote, "Fuck their parade. I say we lock and load and pay them back for taking out Charlie Kirk," end quote. According to the police report, Cole also wrote, quote, "There's only like 30 of them and we can send a clear message to the rest of them. And come on, bro, let's go hunting fairies," end quote. Cole was taken to the Taylor County Jail in Abilene September 19th and released on Wednesday. The next day, a judge ordered that he be held pending trial because of a past history of threats, including being charged with making a terroristic threat in 2019. The Pride event went on as scheduled September 20th. The group posted a statement on Facebook writing, quote, "We want to reassure our community that the safety of everyone at Pride has always been and will continue to be our top priority. The swift action and continued diligence of APD and federal partners reflect their commitment to protecting our city and ensuring that Pride remains a safe, inclusive, and celebratory space for all." This story is obviously very personal to me as someone that organizes and leads a Pride event. The safety and security of all of our guests, of course, is very, very important. But we do live in a world where we're going to continue to see these types of threats and attacks. I think that our community has a thick skin. I think our community is resilient, and I think that we are aware that we have always been under attack, whether it was on social media, which didn't exist 20 years ago. We probably didn't know that people were making threats against Pride events or planning things. So now people are putting it out there on social media. So I do think that, the work of the police organizations, I know, the same thing again with Hollywood Pride. They monitor chatter that might be coming ahead of the event. Even here in Wilton Manors, where they apprehended someone for bringing a gun into the Pride event. These things are going to happen, but they're not just going to happen at Pride events. They're going to happen at any large-scale event that you go to. There is a chance that somebody's going to walk in there with a gun. So while these stories, again, are important for our community, we have to realize that people with guns are the problem. It's not a Pride event, because as we just witnessed this past week, you could have went to church on Sunday with your family and been shot and burned. So let's be aware that there are crazy people that have access to guns, and that is the real issue.
And we know when we go to our events, our large-scale events, you have to be vigilant. You have to look around. You have to be aware of your surroundings.
Absolutely.
Just, be careful. Take care of yourself. Protect the people you're with. I'm sorry to say there really is nothing surprising about this. Kirk's death was weaponized minutes after it occurred. And it's going to continue to be utilized in the most lethal ways imaginable, I think, for years to come.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the story gets to me because ignorance was bliss. So you said before social media, and it's like you could go to a parade and just be happy, and not that the violence didn't happen, because it certainly did, just in a different way. And gun violence is something that is going to go on and on and on until there is true reform for people having access to those weapons. And as someone that I tend to shy away from large-scale events just because I have a family, and I'm not taking that chance. I want to be around for my family, and that's any really large-scale event. I tend not to go to parades, and it's a choice that I make, not because I'm not proud of who I am, but I much rather be there for my son.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, it's a fear, I think, of a lot of people. I do think that, the hate speech that's permeating online from the president all the way down is we're going to see more of these. Social media gives people a platform, whether this person was actually going to commit violence or just going to make threats about violence. Social media gives people that platform to do that, and it is being supported. And although we're hearing ways about censorship of what you can say in comedians on TV or on network television, we're seeing hate speech permeate online as, again, from the top down. So I would expect we're going to hear more of these stories.
Well, yeah, and YouTube has now changed some of its rules, and it's letting some of the stuff be back on the app again. So It's frightening.
Absolutely.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Joy Winheim, and let's queer up trans rights. South Florida's Arianna Lint is behind Miss Trans Star International to be held in Puerto Rico. On December 25th, transgender beauty pageant contestants will head to Puerto Rico for the Miss Trans Star International competition. The competition's CEO, Arianna Lint, chose to host the event in the U.S. in order to send a message. In an interview with LGBTQ Nation, she said, quote, "We cannot fight outside of the borders. This is the United States, and this is the country of opportunity for everybody. We cannot say, oh, the United States is not a safe place for us. We have to say, listen, we can fight," end quote. Arianna is also the executive director of Arianna's Center, a South Florida-based nonprofit serving transgender women of color. She sees the pageant as complementary to the nonprofit, as winners get to travel the world to help educate others on the issues facing the transgender community and help improve transgender visibility. For maximum impact, the event will be held in Peñuelas, Puerto Rico for the next 3 years. They plan on coordinating with local universities to assist with educating people on transgender issues. Jack Nielsen, deputy director of the organization, says that initiatives like this are what set the Miss Trans Star International pageant apart from other competitions. He said, quote, "It's not that other pageants don't do that. I think we are focusing a little more heavily on that and really trying to ensure, as a global ambassador for trans women, that her voice is heard and utilized as much as possible. The girls are not afraid of who they are. We are here, and we're going to really make an impact and really elevate trans women around the world because of it." What an amazing spirit for Arianna to not only have the day job of being an executive director, but then to take that to a whole nother level and host this pageant and know that, well, she got another 2 years ahead of her after this one.
That's right.
And as someone who has a day job and then does events, that is a whole lot of commitment. There's a whole lot of commitment.
Well,
and to get trans rights right now is so important.
Absolutely. I mean, if you know Arianna Lint, she is a powerhouse. So I'm really proud to see what she is doing. Her work with Arianna Center is incredible. And I will say she is somebody who is fearless. So that's what the trans community needs. It needs leaders like Arianna. And I think this pageant is a great step to kind of combine with the work of Arianna's Center. So I wish them lots and lots of success.
And what a great excuse to go to Puerto Rico, right? Brava, Arianna. Keep fighting the good fight for your rights and for all our rights.
I can't wait to see pictures.
Absolutely, absolutely. Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ and ally community.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform. Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening on Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Jeff Oliverio, and on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Joy Winheim and Gregg Shapiro. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. Into our LGBTQ world, we hope you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, be transformative, and queer. Good night.